Pops, folks sometimes might get upset that we're bashing Ford, but quite frankly, guys, Ford is bashing themselves. The headline in Automotive News read, "Quality problems, recurring recalls continue to haunt Ford." The quote here from Kumar Galhotra, who is the head of Ford Blue, their internal combustion engine business unit, said, quote, "These issues simply shouldn't happen." That's when talking about all of the recalls and quality control issues that are currently going on at Ford Motor Corporation. Pops, what is happening over at Ford?
You mean to say that quality is no longer job one? What's going on with Ford? Apparently somewhere along the way they're cutting corners on certain things, and they're having issues. I mean, whether it be the hardtop roof on the Bronco when the Bronco came out, whether it be the catastrophic engine failures that they're running into on some of the Mavericks. On some of the Broncos. I mean, there's just a long list of vehicles and recall issues that they seem to be having at the moment.
We also have the fire issues with the 2022 Ford Escape, Maverick, and Lincoln Corsairs, and the 3.3 million vehicles that have rollaway concerns. Make sure you put those parking brakes on. But let's be very clear here, Dad. Every automaker has recalls. That's something that they budget for. What makes this newsworthy and noteworthy is in Ford's Q2 earnings report that they put out in the press conference they had with shareholders and with the media. Essentially, they owned up to it. They said, hey, you know what? Our profits could have been better, but warranty costs are mitigating the profits that we should be making. And Kumar Galhotra came out and said, these issues, they simply shouldn't be happening. Fixing quality, quote, is our number one priority as a company. This is a bit of a black eye on Ford, who also, let's be clear, has had 100,000 plus vehicles at any given time sitting around waiting for parts to get shipped out to consumers. So Ford is dealing with kind of like a left hook, which is their own internal maybe cost cutting and things like that have led to quality control issues. And then a right hook, which is anytime you have 100,000 cars sitting around waiting for parts, they're also going to have issues, ultimately leading to, in their Q2 earnings, they ultimately have to say, you know what? We should have made more money, but our warranty expenses are way up because we're having these quality issues.
Well, I guess it's time for their shareholders to demand that they do better. Now, if the shareholders were to demand that they do better, how do you do that? I don't know. Do you influence people that are on the board and see to it that some of the people that are actually in charge of the quality of the vehicles no longer have a job there, perhaps, or have a different job that has nothing to do with quality any longer? It usually starts at the top and works its way down.
You're wrong, Pops. You're wrong. And Ford, Dad, this is what I love about Mr. Farley and Ford.
Please
explain.
Not
only do they own up. Not only do they own up. And again, Farley was quoted as saying, we continue to be hampered by recalls and customer satisfaction concerns, okay? Actions, excuse me. So they own it. They also have a plan, Dad.
What's the plan?
This is from Ford.
Yeah.
To get ahead of problems, Ford is more closely monitoring social media to see what customers are complaining about.
Yeah, no, that's where I'd go to find out what's wrong with my cars.
Yelp. Just go to freaking Yelp.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't actually test the stuff that you're building, to make sure that it operates the way it was designed to operate. I wouldn't run any quality control at the manufacturing end of things. I'd wait till these pieces of poo fall into consumers' hands, and then they post something about it on social media. Yeah, that's a good plan. Okay, so we're going to take care of it after the fact, not before it happens.
You're asking for corporate ousters. I'm just saying, Dad, all they got to do is start watching our videos and we can make them very aware. For example, and let's be very clear, the markups that Ford dealers are applying to vehicles that Ford has sent out memos for. I mean, this is kind of in a similar vein to that, where it's customer dissatisfaction. A, does a customer want to wait around for a vehicle? No, but everyone understands why. Then they have to pay a markup on it. Then they're having recalls on it.
Yeah.
What type of customer experience is that? And again, we could paint this picture for any automaker out there. You could spin the story for any automaker. The fact that Ford is outwardly coming out, that there are headlines in automotive news where the only knock on their Q2 earnings was this. how can we not make a video about it? How can we not talk about it, especially amongst all the challenges that they are facing on social media and from a consumer perspective?
Imagine how bad it would be if they were actually producing vehicles in the numbers that they would have liked to. Okay, they're producing fewer vehicles than they had intended, and yet the quality of the fewer vehicles that they're producing is worse than before. So if they actually could produce vehicles at the level that they want, I mean, my God, the number of issues would only get worse. I'm telling you, apparently they're not that concerned about quality because they're not doing a thing about it other than PR blurbs. Oh, yeah, we're concerned. Oh, yeah, this shouldn't be happening. Oh, yeah, we're going to pay more attention to social media. We're going to find out from our customers what the problems are. Well, the problem is you didn't figure it out before it got to the customer. That's the problem.
Average transaction price last quarter on a Ford, Dad. Do you remember what it is?
$52,000.
Drum roll, please. It is actually going to be, Dad, $51,995. So yes, $52,000. So you're ultimately buying what is a luxury price point vehicle, waiting for it, spending over MSRP, and then dealing with these quality control issues. At least, and hey, I genuinely mean this. At least they're acknowledging it. There are plenty of other brands, Stellantis, that just pretend like they don't happen. So I think that's great. I think their plan for how they're going to rectify these things needs to be better than a strongly worded memo or, someone tweeting at us when these things happen. Anyway, we'll continue to beat the drum, of course. Leave comments down below. I'd be interested to see, Dad, if other automakers who recognize that they're struggling come and are as transparent and honest about it and maybe come with slightly better plans, but we shall see.
The plans need to start at the plants.